which is a way I can have a backlight on or something. I ain't about to turn this light on while I'm driving. Anyway, y'all not gonna be able to see me as much. I'm riding home from work. Dallas is storming. It was storming way worse, but the light show is going crazy. Lightning, storming, thundering. Riding on this highway, you really gotta watch out because these folks can't drive. So, story time. I wanted to talk about. I was talking to my homeboy at work, one of the soups, and my homeboy at work. Y'all gonna be able to see the light show as I'm riding. And we was talking about. I told him about these times back when I was in my little substance abuse stage, experimental stage, and in hindsight, and I look back at it, boy, it's going down. That stage was, I don't know, my adolescent years coming up, I really understood, like, bro, you was just a wannabe, like, trying to be down. And what I mean by that is following the trend, following the culture, trying to fit in even though you stand out. But this story time is called Laced Up. This is why you gotta teach your kids not to trust everybody or everything when they out here experimenting with drugs, right? And I can't even say trust everybody or everything because the first time I've been laced 2 times in my life. I've been laced, and it took a while for me to understand that I was laced, meaning somebody put some other stuff in my weed. Both of these times I was smoking weed. So first time this happened, I was like 18. I think I was 18, 19. Staying with my auntie and her old boyfriend that she is actually my niece and my nephew. I said my niece, both of my cousins' father. They have been with each other for a long time as kids, and then they split. But then he came back in their life later in life. Like I said, I was like 18, so he started staying with my auntie again, right? He's staying with my auntie, and my auntie used to give me these joints, the doobies or whatnot. And you know, I'm like 18, 19. I used to smoke these doobies. And man, this one time she gave me this little doobie. Right? It wasn't that little, but a little joint doobie. So I'm, as a kid, as you younger, you geezing and shit. You a geezer. Boy, the lightning is going down, man. It's a light show in Dallas. It's going down. So anyway, so I was smoking this goddamn little doobie, man, that my auntie gave me, but her boyfriend did cocaine or crack, one of them. So I smoked this shit. I'm talking about, man, listen, I smoked this shit. I was cool at first, then all of a sudden, I'm like, I start wigging out, right? I'm wigging out. Like I'm feeling shaky, my stomach feeling, it was just like growling, but I felt I was hungry, but when I was eating, I couldn't eat. It just felt real, I felt nauseated. And then I went to the bathroom, and I look in the bathroom, I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm looking at myself, and if you blink your eyes a lot of times right now, just keep blinking your eyes fast, that's exactly how I looked and how I felt. So I'm here tripping. I'm wigging out, but I didn't tell nobody. I'm just in the bathroom doing my thing. Then I go to the kitchen. I'm trying to eat. Like I said, I just couldn't eat. My stomach, I couldn't take no food. So I don't know how long I was in that state, but it passed, right? And years later, decades later, whatnot, I was talking to my older cousin about it, and I thought it was wet. Because to be honest, I like smells. I like the smell of gasoline. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to like the smell of gasoline. I used to like the smell of nail polish. And when, you know, around my culture, when people used to smoke wet, PCP, Beetlejuice, whatever you want to call it, they used to smoke wet. And when I used to be around people that smoked wet, I'm not even gonna lie, I used to like the smell of wet, of PCP. And PCP is embalming fluid. It's what they put in dead folks, for people that don't know. But I used to like that smell. And I was like, you know, I used to be around people that smoked it, and I used to get close to them, like to try to get a contact, but I was just scared to smoke it because I seen so many people trip out. So I told my cousin, I was like, man, I think I was on wet one time, man. I was smoking blah, blah, blah joint, and then this happened to me. And my older cousin said, hey, man, I've been selling crack a long time, and it sounded like you was on crack. I was like, what? He said, man, it sounded like you was on a love boat. I mean, yeah, a love boat. That's what they called the love boat. They called a love boat was weed and crack. No, a primo, not a love, not a love boat, a primo. He said, it sounded like you was on a primo, bro. Like, you had weed and a little crack in that motherfucker. I was like, what? I'm tripping, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm tripping, like, what the hell? I was on, you know, but that was decades later, right?
There's a flooded road reported ahead.
Man, it's a flooded road. It's going down over this way, man. All right, so that's the first time it happened to me, man. That's the first time it happened to me. You're the best dream I ever seen. I ain't ever seen you driving, or you driving, or you were friends. Hey, I'm driving. So yeah, that happened to me, man. I found out I had smoked the primo. So back in this time, I'd fooled with ecstasy a little bit. This was like 2005 when ecstasy was real popular. If you a kid, I don't know, y'all be lying on this motherfucker to try to get on YouTube. If you a kid, don't do drugs. I swear to God, you gon', especially nowadays, you do the wrong drug, you would never come back. I'm not advocating for people doing drugs and shit. This is just my life, what happened. So I was doing ecstasy, and I did ecstasy this one time. This is around the 4th of July. This is 2005, man. So my homeboy in Phoenix called and hooked up this show in Phoenix. He had just moved to Phoenix. So me and my homeboy KB, you know, we supposed to go out to Phoenix or whatnot. But like I said, I just did X probably a week before. And for me, ecstasy the effects used to last like 3 days. Well, we call it thizzing in Kansas City. You from Kansas City? We call it thiz. So I was thizzing for 3 days. That's normally how it would happen. And then it would dwindle out. You know, if you smoke a cigarette or smoke some weed or something like that, or drink some vitamin C, vitamin D or whatever, like with orange juice, like that shit might boost it back up. So anyway, this was a week before going to Phoenix. Man, we go to Phoenix, we fly to Phoenix, we having a good time the first night, you know, drinking, having a good time. I've been a few places outside of Kansas City around this time, but maybe a few on my hand, like one hand. So I'm out here really acting KC. I ain't gonna lie, acting an ass, acting like a nigga that ain't never had shit. I'm a nigga see what's that ass shit, like my nigga Juvenile said. I'm in here just acting like I ain't got no manners, bro. So I want some weed. I'm like, bro, I need some weed. I'm telling my homeboy Jay, hey man, who got some weed out here? Man, I want to buy some weed. So man, he take me to these Mexicans. I believe they was Mexicans. Like I said, it was 2005, bro. That's 20 years ago. I had to have been 20 or 21. So I buy this weed from these Mexicans. I get this weed. He go get it by the block. So we having a good time the first day. The second day we hang out on the road to Blunt. Man, we headed to the hotel. Or we hanging out at this spot called The Buzz in the parking lot. Man, I hit this blunt. I hit this motherfucking weed, bro. We get in the car, we about to leave. I'm in the back seat, we riding, we headed to the room. It just hit me like boom. Now, in the moment, I'm thinking, I thought it was the ecstasy. I thought I did ecstasy a week ago or a few days ago. I smoked this, it done boost my X-high up. Everybody's tolerance is not the same, and obviously my tolerance with things like that was not. I didn't have a big enough tolerance for it. So, like I said, I'm in the back seat tripping, heart pounding. I'm really feeling the same way I felt off of the first time I told y'all. And so this is years later. This is about 3 years later, 2 to 3 years later. I'm feeling the same way, but I'm in the back seat tripping, hands all shaky and whatnot. It's dark around this way. Hands all shaky and whatnot. And man, we got like a Burger King cup or something. I think I'm smoking. I'm dumping the ashes in a cup and whatnot. But man, I was so high that I needed some water. So I'm drinking water. And I'm drinking the water that's in the Burger King or the Wendy's cup that got ashes in it. I'm telling you, I didn't care if it was ashes or not. I'm drinking the water with the ashes. And I'm telling bro, hey, bro, I gotta get me to the room. I ain't feeling good. You know, at this time, like I said, we 2021. We boys, your boys is not gonna take you serious. That we think everything funny. They're like, boy, you tripping, man. I'm like, nah, I'm serious, bro. I ain't feeling good. Yeah. Bro, I start slumping in the seat and shit. Like I said, I'm drinking this water. We get back to the hotel. Man, I'm in the hotel, bro. I done jumped in the shower and all type of shit, right? But I was feeling the same way. Stomach feeling queasy. I felt hungry, but I couldn't eat. I was trying to eat, but I was shaking. I was forcing myself. I was feeling overheated. I'm putting water on my face. I'm putting it on the back of my neck. I'm putting it on my body. I'm in the shower. I get out the shower. I lay in the bed. Man, I don't go to sleep. I wake up. I'm still feeling that way. And then we had a show. So my homeboy Jay got us out there in Phoenix for a show. So the night of the show, I couldn't go to the show. I told bro, them like, bro, I can't do it. You know, I think I stayed in the bed for 2 to 3 nights. I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital though. I really thought I was gonna die. So, but I was afraid to tell them like, hey bro, I need to go to the hospital. You know, you try to keep all that your anxiety and everything to yourself until, I don't know why, man. You just don't want to jump the gun. You afraid how people gonna look at you. You don't know how people gonna react. So you wait really to the final minute where you really think you need some help. But I should have been said something. But yeah, I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital, and I ended up calling my mom and telling my mom that I needed a flight out of there like the next day. And my boy and them, they come and they wonder why, you know, room service done deliver some food and this food still on the tray, like just bit off of, and I ain't eating. I'm telling them how I'm feeling, and I just like, man, I think it's the ecstasy. That's how I'm feeling. So anyway, the next day, Jay take me to the airport. I gave him the weed that I had on me, like, hey, you got this weed. Because, like I said, I didn't think no one was with the weed, but around this time, you wasn't getting on no flight with no weed. So I'm in the airport, and I was on standby. I was on a standby flight, so shit, the flight was too packed. It got overcapacitated, so I had to wait for the next flight. I'm in a Terminal 6 still shaky, still couldn't eat, drinking cranberry juice, just didn't know what was going on, man. And it didn't make it no better as getting on the plane and my anxiety on the plane, and you up in that air, My anxiety was killing me. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack or something. And I finally made it home. And from there, like since then, I just could not smoke weed how I used to. I could not smoke weed like everybody else. If I hit the blunt too hard, or it's a specific type of weed that's too strong, if I hit it too hard, I'll be having anxiety attacks. And from 2005 to, man, I don't know when the anxiety attacks stopped, but for at least 10 years, like for real, 2015, 2016, 2017, I'm like, man, I was going through life with having anxiety attacks. Didn't even know, going to the hospital, they talk about, nah, I'm good, that they doing my blood pressure, they doing all that shit. Now I'm telling you, I didn't know what was going on with me. But I mean, there's way more to the story, and I just wanted to talk on this ride to the crib. Just a little story time called Laced Up. This is 2 times in my life where my weed got laced with what? I don't know. The first time, we think it was crack or cocaine. The second time, I really don't know what it was laced with. It could have been shit. And I'm thinking about how the youth is now, how everybody dying off fentanyl. Just imagine if I was living, if those times, that happened around, the fentanyl was popular around those times. Somebody could have been lacing my weed, or lacing, well, I don't think people putting fent in weed, but lacing something, just niggas trying to bring it back and give somebody a extra high to come back, and you smoke some stuff and you goddamn die. You know what I'm saying? Damn, kill yourself or something, so that's my story on being laced twice in my life. I done made it home. I hope you kids don't do drugs and stay in your books and stuff. And to this day, it's 2025, man. To this day, I still feel the effects of that, like with smoking weed. And for real, I think that's what really turned me into like drinking how I drank. Because when I drank, I never felt it when I drank. But every time when I smoked. But when I drink and then smoke, I feel like I don't feel that effects of the weed for real. But yeah, ever since then, I smoked weed a lot. And I didn't drink as much. I drank, but I smoked weed more. But ever since then, I just couldn't smoke weed how I used to. And I started drinking. So anyway, story time over with. Laced up. Y'all can stay away from them drugs, because especially 2025, you don't know what's in them. We out. How you end this motherfucker?